Hello and welcome to AaronOnAutos.com. This is Aaron with another shaky cam interior review. This time we are in a 2015 Jeep Patriot. This is one of the smaller Jeeps. They just introduced the Renegade, which is smaller than this. But up to this point, this has been the smallest one on the market. You might remember the Jeep Liberty as well, which was discontinued a couple years ago. This is similar. It's more of a crossover than it is an SUV, but it retains that kind of cool throwback square-bodied Jeep. You remember the old Cherokees from the 90s and 80s had that square body, and this has the same thing. And I really like that. It also has benefits for the interior. It means a lot of headroom, a lot of cargo space, and a lot of rear seat headroom, which is a problem with many of today's crossovers with their more coupe-like roofline. So we're going to do the usual, and then if you look at the channel, and I'll try to link to it from here, you should see a really short video I did just giving my general impressions of this Jeep Patriot here, what I think of it, and why I would or would not buy it. So let's get started. Over here, you see the window controls and mirrors and such. And you can see that this has a two-tone package, so is a black and brown. This is soft here, soft material. This is also soft material on the doors, but on the dashboard, I'll show you that in a minute, it's not so soft. Coming around, there's really nothing underneath here, no extra buttons and stuff. It's not a luxury vehicle with a lot of extra crap on it. They've gone to these round vents. I really like these. This is a great design. I believe it's European in origin, but don't look at me. First time I ever saw it was actually in a Toyota, so who knows. But anyway, it's a great design because it gives you tons of flexibility with where you move them. And then this also has a separate defrost vent. So moving along, let's look at the steering wheel really quick, and then I'll show you the instrument cluster. So on this side of the steering wheel, you can see you have all of your controls. These control, well, they would normally control what's up there, but there is no center stack menu. So what these actually control is that over there. This over here is, of course, your cruise control. Up here you have your lighting, and over here you have your wiper washers. These are really nice because you have like 1,000 wiper settings. We had some pretty good rain this week, and I was turning this, and I found out I didn't count how many, but there's gotta be 8 or 10 different wiper settings. So you can almost guarantee that you'll find a speed that fits what you need for those wipers up here. And of course, this back here runs that back there. I would also like to point out how cool this is. You have to turn the lights on. If the lights are on, you can do that. That turns on your fog lamps. So you see right here your little, that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. It feels neat. One thing I will note is that this right here, when you're doing your turn signals up and down, like so, it feels a little flimsy. It feels to me in my hand like it's going to bust off. Now I have big meat hooks, and I don't tend to just push things. I tend to grab them and shove, kind of old school, so this to me feels a little bit flimsy. I don't think it's ever going to break off unless you're really manhandling it, beyond the norm, but it does feel flimsy, and that's kind of a thing for me. I don't like that. Over here you have your fuel gauge. Here you have your speedometer. Down here it displays what's going on outside the vehicle. Over here you have your RPM gauge, and down here you have your gearing, and you can see how many miles I put on it. One thing I'll note is that when you're at pretty high speeds, it tends to fluctuate between high RPM, somewhere in the 4,000, 4,500 range, down to about 25 to 3,000. It did that on the freeway here at which is a 80 mile an hour speed limit. When I set the cruise at 80, it going into town, which is largely uphill, but it's a pretty, it's not a very steep grade. It spent a lot of time at high RPMs. Coming back, which is more downhill, it spent less time at those high RPMs. It was under 3,000 most of the time. That wouldn't be a big deal, except it's sucking fuel when it's that high, and it is not good as far as sound quality inside the vehicle. So I just want to point that out. At normal freeway speeds, when you're at 65 and 70, that's not an issue. So I think for the majority of the people in the country who don't happen to live where this freeway speed is as high as it is here, will not notice that and won't have a problem. With a full load of people, this climbs hills just fine, even though it's just a 4-cylinder engine. I'll also throw that in. So, like I said, it's something that is probably only an issue for the handful of us that happen to live where high speeds are normal. Over here, you have your engine temperature and your trip control. Now, moving along, you see more of those round vents. So it's not just an edge thing, it's all over the vehicle, which I love. These are great, and you get a lot of good airflow out of these things. I can't say enough good stuff about this style of vent. Coming here, we have the UConnect system. Now, this is the kind of the older screen, the kind of the mid-market screen. So it's not the full color hooty display with all the good stuff on it, like you might expect from other Chrysler products, the newer ones. I'll just quickly try to show you the menu. I don't think I turned it on. No, whatever. And then it has the old school throwback CD back here. So, actually, even though it doesn't have all the fancy big buttons and everything, for most of the stuff you're doing here, this is actually pretty easy to use. One thing about this this system is Chrysler has had pretty good voice control for quite a while, and it works just fine on here. I have an Android phone, synced it up with this. Took me, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds. Very quick, easy. One thing I don't like is this is an upgrade option. You see the USB. I don't like this little floppy thing to get to that USB port. But again, well, this design is old. Like I said, this is an older design for this Jeep. Down here we have all your climate controls. Pretty straightforward. Don't need to really know anything special to run them. This has seat heating here, so you got your bun warmers and the usual stuff, traction control and whatnot. Up here, this right here, I don't know what you would use it for. It's hard plastic. It's not non-slip, so if you put your phone in there, it's going to pitch out. So I don't know what you would do with this. But the shifter here, pretty straightforward. You bring it down, and then you can go back and forth in order to manually select gears. I do that on off-ramps and stuff a lot. And down here, this is another spot that I don't know what the hell you're going to do with it. Can't put a phone in there. It's you can see it's a smooth, hard surface. Things just slide around. I've been putting my phone right here instead. Handbrake. Here's your drink holders. Over here is your parking brake. You can see that. And then you have the center armrest. It has two different spots. So you have this spot here, and this is a removable little thing to easily clean. And then you have the bigger one underneath. See that? And it's fairly deep. You can see it goes past my wrist. So pretty good stuff. And then you have your 110 outlet here, which is kind of a cool placement actually. So, and then I want to show you these tones. So you have this, which is another great spot to throw your phone and your house keys or whatever you got. Just toss it in there. Non-slip inside, and also a removable thing so you can easily clean it. Big glove box here. You can see another one of those vents over there, and then you see the two-tone again. Again, soft material here, not here. That makes a difference. Hard plastics, They can be okay if they're done okay. This is a quality hard plastic, so it's not horrible, but it means a lot of noise transfers in. In this vehicle, hard plastic down here, hard plastic down here, you hear the transmission when you're driving. You hear it a lot, and that's kind of a downer. But on the other hand, look at the price tag you're paying, right? So that's an important factor. You have to remember this is not an expensive vehicle at all. Back seat. The back seats are very good. Adults can sit back there. They do not recline, but or slide, but they're pretty well positioned. I like them. Pretty nicely done. We had car seats back there. Kids had no problems, and they weren't kicking the backs of our seats. So that gives you an idea how much room there is. And behind that is pretty good cargo space. And one thing about the cargo space in this is because it is a square body design, you have easy access to that cargo space. That's a big bonus. With some of the rounder designs that you see with some of the other vehicles on the market, crossovers, you don't have the same kind of ease of access. So kind of a nice thing. There's a few other things about this. It sits pretty high. You have tons of headroom. I am 6'3", and I have a full that much. That's about 2.5 to 3 inches of headroom in this vehicle. Tons of headroom in here. It's great. That's about it. I'm pretty impressed with most of the interior of this vehicle for considering the price tag. It's around, I believe this fully loaded, well, not fully loaded, but I believe this package as I'm driving it. Let me look at the Monroney here. We'll bring this, we'll just have a quick look here. So as I'm driving it here, it's about $29,000. This is the Latitude package, and it's got a fair amount of optional equipment, about, say, $3,000 worth. A little over $3,000, maybe $3,300 worth of optional equipment there. So it's not too bad. Base price is $24,000. So that's it. That's the interior of the 2015 Jeep Patriot. This has been Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com. Talk to you again soon.